Half a Day KUAM. I'm Adriana Cotero, and today I am joined here with principals and the administrator of Harvest Christian Academy. I'm going to list everyone's name, and then if you guys want to just throw a wave out so that way people know who you are. So we have Dr. Joy Stauffer, principal of kindergarten through third grade. And forgive me if I say any last names wrong. And then we also have Joshua Taylor, who is the principal of 4th to 8th grade. There we are. And then Lawrence Nagengast?
Nagengast, yeah. Second
okay, there you go, Nagengast. Okay, principal of 9th to 12th grade. And then the administrator of the academy, Jeremy Zajic.
Yeah, half a day. You had no chance at that. It's Zajic.
Zajic. Okay, Jeremy Zajic. Well, thank you all for joining me. And today we're talking about the online education system that you guys have implemented. You have gone virtual since March 27th. And I know, we know that a few other schools here on island are just now starting that process. University of Guam just now making a virtual campus, but early on you guys have implemented this. And I think from what I read in the email, you guys made efforts within the 2-week span to get this all together and be able to produce the coursework online. So if someone wants to just give us a basics of how that started and how the conversations first started, then how it was to actually get all the students in on online classes.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a whirlwind, just like everyone else is dealing with, right? Boy, it's been pretty fun. It's been pretty fluid as the governor has issued guidance and asked businesses to follow suit. We really tried to follow right along with that. So from the beginning, we knew that we wanted to continue to add value to our parents, and it's a lot of them are home with their kids, and we know that education is important. So immediately we began just planning, what does this look like for our customers? And we're still in the learning process. We're not experts at it, but we're doing the very best we can and trying to connect with our parents and continue that education, that trajectory of learning for the kids, and ultimately help them complete the year so that next year they can move on to the next grade level.
So what does this look like? Do kids log on every single morning right now, or is that what students are doing? And then you guys have instructional courses throughout the day, or what's the process?
That's a great question. It looks different from K3 all the way up through 12th grade. So maybe we'll start at the bottom, kick it over to Dr. Stauffer, and have her share what a day looks like.
Sure. Starting an online platform for preschool through 3rd grade has been interesting. Our priority was to still give flexibility to our parents who are dealing with multiple children and maybe working from home. So for my age group, most of our instruction has been pre-recorded videos or sometimes going live with a Zoom call. But the teachers are recording their lessons, uploading those usually through YouTube. And then the parents can click on those and watch those, and then giving them assignments and instruction to follow up on that. Middle school with Mr. Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm going through all of this both as a teacher and as a parent. I've got 5 of my children are going online. The only person in this room that beats me is Jeremy. He's got all 6 of his kids going. And so seeing it from the 2 different perspectives, it brings a really significant reality to it. Honestly, I'm an educator myself. I'm a teacher. And the reason I went into education was to be with the students. And so when you take the students out of the classroom, I'll do anything I can to try and stay connected with them, to try to make sure, especially at this point in the year, we are 3/4 of the way through the year. We made it through quarters 1, 2, and 3, and I'm just desperate to make sure that they have a chance to finish and to get that completed report card. Right. And then as a parent, I want to make sure that my child's not falling behind. I've got a 1st grader in Dr. Stauffer's section, and he is just now getting into where he understands how to read. And man, I do not want him to lose that. And I don't want him to lose that excitement. And so I'm very grateful for what Dr. Stauffer is doing in the lower grades to make sure he's getting his phonics lessons in all the time. And then as I'm working with 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, really just give them a chance. We're really focusing right now. We didn't want to overwhelm the parents. We didn't want to overwhelm the students. I didn't want to overwhelm my teachers. So we're rolling it out pretty gently right now, where we're focusing on math, reading, and English, just the core subjects.
Mhm.
If we can get that down well, if the parents can be successful with it, the students can be successful with it, then we'll add in some of the other subjects a little bit later after that. But right now, that's what we're focusing on. And then as I get into 7th and 8th grade, especially my 8th grade students, where they are 1 quarter away from getting into high school, I want to make sure again that they have what's essential, what's necessary, because I'm going to be passing them off to Mr. Nagengas, and now they're going to start taking things for credit. And then as I think of credits, I've got a daughter in 9th grade. This is her first high school year, and right now she's got 3 quarters of the year of her first set of credits, but she's still missing a quarter. And that's when I look at Lawrence and I say, so what are you going to do for my daughter?
Interesting there. So it's like you're holding each other accountable then.
Absolutely.
So then, Lawrence, when it comes to high school then, or 9th through 12th grade, I feel like it could also be a little bit trickier for you just because of AP classes, I'm sure, and electives.
Yes, we've actually kind of grouped 7th through 12th together, even though 7th and 8th would be considered still middle school. The teachers that we have here do overlap in who they teach, both 7th and 8th and high school classes. So what we had to do is basically, in a way, recreate the wheel as far as the schedule's concerned. And so because they're all at home on the internet, we don't have to have multiple sections of the same class anymore, because they could all access the teacher together in one classroom. So we sort of truncated the schedule down, both in numbers of times they meet. So if there's a section that normally meets 3 times, so let's say a history class that has 3 sections, it now meets once. And the class period that is live is now only 25 minutes. And so we start our class day at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then we have 25-minute, or I guess you could say half an hour blocks per grade, per subject, all the way through till 12:30. The day ends now. So it is a half day as far as content delivery, which we use the Zoom, like what we're doing right now. We use the Zoom products to get the information to our students. And then basically they have the afternoon to work on their assignments at home. And so what this has done is it's allowed the teachers and the students both to have a little bit of a sense of normalcy. Is I've got to get up, I've got to get going. My teacher's there with all the rest of the students that I can chat with, and then listen to their teaching. And so that part has been really, really helpful as far as getting a sense of normalcy in the high school. And like you mentioned, AP classes are coming to a close here. And the nice thing is College Board has definitely looked at this and made some adjustments themselves. And the tests are now only going to be taken at home. And they've cut them down from being 4-hour blocks to 45 minutes. And it'll only be free response as opposed to multiple choice and free response. So now our teachers at this point of the year are just really doing a lot of review and prep for those tests coming up in here about a little less than a month. But still important times for them to get together for class here at the end of the school year.
Now, actually, so like you mentioned, bringing normalcy, you know, the pandemic kind of hit us when we're already being able to see, especially for students, they were able to see the finish line. So I'm wondering, what is some of the feedback been from students once you guys opened up the online campus? What's it been like for them?
I would say,
Jeremy, yeah. Jeremy, you've got 6 kids. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, it's been an adjustment, and so far my kids love it. You know, as we started to roll things out very soft, and we did a soft rollout, and it was like you know, bugs to a light when they got to see their teacher. They were just right back in there. That was pretty cool to see. So the initial feedback from students has been really good. As we continue to, as Josh mentioned, continue to ramp things up and grow, you know, the curriculum and the instruction time. They might start to complain after a while, but so far things are great. And we've made it a point too to connect with our parents, and we've started to call each one of them individually and just ask how things are going, let them know we're praying for them. And so far the feedback from parents has been exceptional as well. So we're really, really pleased with that.
About how many students are with the academy?
Yeah, we've about 1,000 students K3 through 12th grade.
So for all the students, because you guys were able to get this up and running so quickly, grading is continued, right? There's no halt or anything. Grading is still going as followed.
We've shifted it a little bit by
Yeah, we lost.
It's
Go ahead,
Did
George.
I lose you guys?
I was going to say it looks a little bit different by level. Again, trying to create maximum flexibility. We were able to get some materials to parents. So now they have some greater flexibility of what the students can work on at home. And then the teachers are gradually creating the venue at the lower levels for how to return things to them. Our teachers are also starting up some individual Zoom sessions, even with the littlest ones, so that they can do some assessment, listening to them read, giving them feedback. That looks a little bit different as it gets into the older grades.
Yeah, what Dr. Stouffer said there, flexibility has been the key. We have asked an awful lot of our teachers to transition to online in just a short amount of time. We ended up, we had spring break 2 weeks ago. So our spring break went from relaxation to pretty hardcore work. And then we spent the next Monday through Thursday training them in a program that we should have spent 3 weeks on, and they got it in 3 days. And so it's been a lot of on-the-job training. Our teachers have just poured their hearts out and their hours and their days and their nights in getting this material ready. And we're incredibly grateful for their hard work. We're also very thankful for the patience that the parents have shown for us. And we've been getting a lot of feedback with how we can clean things up, how to make things better, more understandable, because it's been a learning curve for everybody that's involved. And so flexibility, yes, we're grateful for it, and the patience, and we just want to get better. We want to get better, make it as nothing is the same as having the students right there in your classroom. You can't replace that. But we can at least try to supplement and make sure that that we're providing quality content for them and helping them finish the school year.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Some of the grading and processing of how to give out assignments does have to change a bit in high school because you do want to keep the workload at a high level. So a little bit of project-based learning, things that they have to do maybe on a longer scale rather than daily homework. Some classes have stuck with that, but others have gone to a little bit of a longer section or time to turn things in. And so that way the students have some time to get it, work on it, and bring it back because the class time is not there like it used to be. So just some out-of-the-box thinking by a lot of our teachers has really helped.
I'm sure. Now, so it took about 2 weeks for you guys to create the program, right? About 2 weeks, roughly?
Yeah, we're very grateful for all the work that our IT department did. They had actually talked with us. We talked with Lawrence and I really about a week before all this came down. And he said, hey, if we're as heading towards this, we do have an option with the program that we're running. And I said, no, I had no idea that we had an option with that. And so he gave us a crash course. Our IT team has been tremendous. They had to create individual logins and passwords for all thousands of our students. So they were just a couple of days staring at a spreadsheet. So the work, it's really been a tremendous amount of work from our full staff to make sure that they've been successful. And that's, like I said, we decided to jump into it as soon as we could. And so we're continuing to learn, continuing to clean things up, but very grateful for what we've been able to accomplish.
And the classes are conducted via Zoom, like what we're on right now?
Again, it depends on the class and the age of the student. So Zoom is an option for all levels, but there might be several days a week where they're meeting live, and then there might be a day where it's a pre-recorded instructional video. The older grades are doing more segments. They have a schedule where it's more often they're meeting live. With the younger, to provide flexibility, there's fewer live sessions and more flexibility to go back and watch the link at a time that's convenient for parents.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that is a big thing as well with the families that we have that have multiple children, but they don't have multiple devices. So
Right.
they kind of take turns. One of the students gets to watch it live, and the other one, when I go home, one of my kids has to watch theirs later on in the day, in the evening. So that's why we're trying to find the balance there of providing live, but also having an opportunity for them to go back and watch the links recorded.
Just some silver lining with that. I guess they really learn how to share, huh?
Yes.
I can just picture my siblings and I.
There's so much character building happening.
Exactly. So by the end of the school year, they'll each be receiving a report card. What about high school graduation?
Yeah, you're not the first person to ask. All the seniors are very interested. And I've told them right now, two things. Number one, I don't necessarily know because every couple of days, some new information comes out. Some, feels positive, some's not always positive. But at this point, we're about a month, maybe 5 weeks out from graduation. But one of the things I encouraged them with is the perspective that if you compare yourself to other grades that have graduated, you are going to feel like you're missing out. But if you think about all the current seniors in both high school and college that are also in the same boat with you, you're not the only ones. And to think about this as you are the unique class that is going to have something very special or very unique, however we end up doing it, that nobody else hopefully will ever have to have. So I know it can be negative, but if they think about the positive of it being like nobody else's, that's really the only way I encourage them, because they are a bit bummed.
Of course. But so no set in stone plans yet.
Not currently. Bringing the amount of people we normally bring into into our gym, into our FLC, is probably out of the question this year. It's just if we can get something smaller with families and the kids, that's probably the to be determined part.
Of course. And then your guys' classwork, it's all you can access it on your website, correct?
We're using a learning management system that the parents have login information. So we're directing them all through that portal where they can access all of their individual classes. So the parents have their login for each student.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Yeah,
anything
in our house, we have 6 kids, so our login information is posted right by the door. Yeah, so each one has an individual login. They access it, and they have a customized screen for their classes that they're going to work on for that day. So it's a pretty neat system.
Wow.
Yep,
Wow.
I got my 4-year-old walking around with an iPad saying, "Dad, let me in, log me in for the day."
Was it difficult at all putting this together so quickly? I know that you mentioned you guys had a great IT team that helped out, but was it chaotic at all?
Yeah, organized chaos would be the right word. It's a tremendous amount of effort from everyone getting this thing up and running. All hands on deck. A lot of jobs that used to look a certain way didn't look that way anymore, but really a superhuman effort by everyone on the staff to make this possible.
Great. All right. Anything else either of you would like to add before we head out of here, just for the public or for students and parents of the Harvest Christian Academy?
I would just say from my end, we're praying for our families. We know this is new and challenging for everyone. So we're just so thankful for their support, and we want to help them to be successful in educating their children. So we're here to help in any way we can.
Yeah, same thing. We're all we're all on this island together, and what's really cool is everyone on our island is looking for ways to help. And while we can't reach everyone, we want to make sure we're still providing the service to the families that we are connected with. And that's our number one goal, is to support those that we can. Just like so many of the businesses and communities our leadership is doing out there for us, we want to make sure we're trying to provide that for our families as well.
What about are there any families without any devices that you guys have had to help out?
There have been situations. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
There have been a few families, at least in the high school, the 7th through 12th. It's come down to specifically like a PC that is needed for a certain program for like graphic design class. There have been a few that don't have the ability to run a program, so we've had to adapt with that. But most of what we can do with Zoom and the learning management system can be done on a phone, maybe not to the best, but it can be accessed and be found. So that seems to be working for a majority of them.
Okay, great. And for any parents that have any further any further questions, or if they need more information, where can they go?
Yeah, great question. They can go to our website, hcaguam.org, and we have a COVID page, and they can click on the contact us, and they can reach us through that method.
Oh, so you guys have a whole COVID page. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, great. Thank you all for joining me and helping us get the word out. And of course, thank you for your efforts to continue educating the youth.
Thank you, Adriana.
Thank you, Adriana.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you all for tuning in. Again, that was principals and the administrator with Harvest Christian Academy discussing their virtual online campus that they've created since March 27th. If you have any further questions or information, you can visit their website at hcaguam.org. Thank you.